I welcome the honorable members of the BOG for its 8th meeting to be held today after some time. Good evening, everybody. BOG is the apex policy-making body of the Lokopriya Gopinath Bordole Regional Institute of Mental Health. LGVRIMH is a standalone, multidisciplinary, super specialty PG institution under the aegis of the Union Government of India, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is an autonomous institute with a two-tier administrative setup. The members of the BOG are drawn from the highest level of functionaries in the Union Government, regional governments of northeastern region of our country, various regulatory bodies, and eminent mental health professions. The BOG is chaired by the Honorable Union Minister, and the Chief Minister of Assam is its Vice Chairman. The next immediate administrative body is the Executive Council, and it is chaired by the Union Health Secretary. The BOG has 25 members, and 4 members constitute the quorum. We have received confirmation of 12 members by 3 p.m. I, on behalf of the BOG, as its member secretary, express my gratitude to all of you for your kind presence. As we have the requisite quorum, I would like to request the chairperson, the Honorable Union Minister, to permit me to start the business proceedings, sir. So with your permission, thank you, sir.
I call the meeting to order and request the director to start with the agenda.
Sir. Thank you, sir. So what we have started was with a short video of the institute so that everybody can have an idea about what's happening here. And this video happens to be around 2 years old, sir. So unfortunately, because of COVID situation, we could not update it. But this is good enough to give a perspective about the institute, sir. I'll request the video to be run. Video to start.
Nestled in the heart of Tezpur, amidst 81 acres of lush green, sprawling grounds, is the Lokopriya Gopinath Bordole Regional Institute of Mental Health, or the LGBRIMH. The institute houses a mental health care facility in the West that caters to the northeast of India. The main objective of the LGBRIMH is to provide the best mental health care services, free of cost, along with state-of-the-art academic infrastructure in the field of mental health. Established in April 1876, the Institute completed 143 years of existence and service in mental health care in April of this year. The Institute's academic departments of psychiatry, psychiatric social work and nursing was set up in 1998. Clinical teaching is the mainstay of the academic courses at the Institute. Academic lectures, presentations by the student, guest lectures and workshops from visiting faculty are organized in addition to OPD and IPD postings. A digital training initiative, MEET, is a mode of teaching and training to provide the online certificate programs in mental health care to create basic mental health manpower for the peripheral areas of care. The Institute boasts a well-appointed central library comprising nearly 30,000 books, DVDs, reference and rule books, and theses and dissertations, 65 print journals, and 136 online journals. It functions via an open access system with internet connectivity. An auditorium with state-of-the-art audio-visual equipment is used for workshops and seminars conducted by invited resource persons. It doubles as a space to celebrate and commemorate special occasions within the Institute. The campus is supported with spacious, furnished student hostels for men, women, and clinical staff, as well as residential quarters for all categories of staff. The Outpatient Department, or OPD, sees patients from all over the Northeast and nearby regions. The faculty members from the Department of Psychiatry run the OPD services along with psychiatric senior and junior residents. The OPD also has the services from the faculty and clinical staff from the departments of pathology, psychiatric nursing, psychiatric social work, clinical psychology, microbiology, biochemistry, radiology, and other support services. PhD scholars and MSc and MPhil students from the Department of Psychiatric Nursing, Psychiatric Social Work, and Clinical Psychology are part of the OPD services on a daily basis. The inpatient treatment team consists of the faculty and staff of psychiatry, psychiatric social work, clinical psychology, and nursing. Round-the-clock services are provided by doctors, psychiatric nursing, and other auxiliary staff. The indoor department capacity is 336 beds strong, and all admitted patients are required to be accompanied by attendants. Services provided as part of the inpatient treatment program include free medication, psychological and social interventions, nursing care, hygienic food with a calculated calorie intake is served to each patient. All admitted patients are provided with a modern hospital bed, mattress, and laundered uniforms. The indoor wards provide some recreational facilities like television and reading. Modified electroconvulsive therapy is given under the care of an anesthesiologist. Specialized services are available on a referral basis at family therapy, child and adolescent mental health, and the psychotherapy units. The medical record section maintains comprehensive data of patients in a way that facilitates scientific preservation and smooth retrieval for future use. A fully fledged department was set up in the OPD building with computerized medical records started in the year 2000. There are 2 pharmacies located on campus, one in the indoor department and one in the OPD. The former is the central pharmacy for distribution of medicines, and the latter is open 24/7, providing free medicine to all OPD patients and also to community outreach programs and to emergency services. Rehabilitation services are also a referral-based service provided via a supportive, stable, and structured program allowing patients to work on their potential, be it healing, daily living, or occupational skill sets towards a holistic recovery.
बाद में लिया ना
The center
जब
offers
ये ई-बास वगैरह
physiotherapy,
सब किए थे सब उन्होंने
rehabilitation needs assessment and counseling, skills training and development, and also activities facilitating daily living. There is also psychoeducation, behavioral intervention,
हाँ?
family education, and environmental interventions. The center also provides the services of a speech therapist and one for special education needs. The Youth Wellness Hub is a recent initiative of the youth that has programs designed to be open, friendly, and barrier-free, providing a supportive network of well-being related resources and services for those in need. The Institute services also go beyond the hospital walls as part of community extension services. Mental health teams visit various locations in and around the district on a fortnightly and monthly basis and also provide free monthly medication to the rural population. One of the objectives of the Institute is to provide an environment conducive to research in collaboration with various agencies. The faculty, scholars, and trainees are encouraged to take up scientific research projects that range from prevalence to interventional studies. A major research activity of the Institute so far has been the National Mental Health Survey. LGBRIMH was nominated to conduct the survey for the state of Assam for the year 2015-16. The Institute has also been awarded a ICMR project in the area of geriatric mental health. There are currently 40 approved and ongoing research activities from the academic departments of the Institute. Some people who have recently retired have experienced the Institute from the early years to the modern state-of-the-art institute it is today. They leave with memories, both past and current, a precious link between old and new. Their contribution, along with that of others, has witnessed the evolution of the Institute from asylum to mental hospital with a strong mandate for service, teaching and research for the northeast of the country.
Thank you, sir. Now we are going to take up the agenda items. And as per the circulated papers, each item shall be taken up individually for discussion, and the item shall be recorded as closed after approval of the chairperson. With a decision, the member secretary will introduce each of the items for discussion. The chairman may initiate any agenda item under agenda item number 9 of his own. The concluding remarks will be passed by the chairperson at the end of the meeting. Dissolution of the meeting will be done by the chairperson. And conclusion of the business session will be after dissolution of the meetings. To start with the PPT, the PPT is being controlled by the ministry. PPT, please. The first agenda item is the confirmation of the minutes of the 7th meeting of the Board of Governors, which was held in 16th April on 2018. We have not received any comments from anyone No, roll call. We have not received any comment from anybody. So if the members agree, it can be confirmed. So we go ahead with the second item, sir. In the agenda item number 2, in this previous meetings, some resolutions were taken to upgrade the facilities of the institute at par with NIMAS and to build it up in a similar manner. This also included proposal for bettering the service conditions, pay packages, etc. to prevent staff attrition. This has been examined by the ministry and in conjunction with NIMAX. The proposal will be discussed in details on agenda number 6. It's an ongoing proposal, so it will require some more time for that. So in agenda item number 3, we have to, this is a perfunctory requirement for approval of the annual reports. The audited reports are part of the annual reports. The reports for 2017-18, 2018-19, 2019 and 20 has already been placed, and it is in the ministry. First 2 years, 17 and 18, 18 and 19 have already been placed in the parliament, and 19 and 20 is in a final stage in the ministry, sir. So this is for the note of the honorable members. So if you agree, we will proceed to the agenda number. The 4 and 3 is same, sir. If you agree, then we will proceed to agenda number 5, sir. So this, yes, sir. So this matter has been discussed. HSCC was the appointed consultant for construction activities in the institute, sir. They have been appointed by invitation. So far, the HSCC has completed around 240, approximately they have completed around 200 crores of, 180 crores of work, which you have observed in the video, sir. Mostly construction of the new hospital, all the support facilities in the hospital, and hostel and some quarters, living quarters. So now they have already completed 2 packages. One more package is ongoing, and that is a package where they are constructing the library and the sports. They are developing the sport ground. So the cost of this is around 12.7 crores, and it is ongoing. And they have assured us that they will complete it by end of this 2021. So far, in HSCC, the only problem was in the earlier assignments, there was time overrun, but luckily there was no cost escalation. However, because of the time overrun, the ministry has imposed a 2% penalty for the consultancy. So till now, we have they have not yet submitted the final bills. Once they submit the final bills, the amount will be cut and it will be reported to the ministry, sir. Now, for this next project, HSC has been temporarily withdrawn. They have been withdrawn from being invited as consultants. So this is the position at the present, sir.
So there's a minor issue there.
So this is agenda number 6 is
Dr. Devri,
sir.
sir, with your permission, I just wanted to bring on record the fact that there were 2 directions which were given to the institute. I think my voice is resounding. Can you go on mute, please, Dr. Devri, if your mic is on?
Mute.
Okay. Sir, the direction to the institute was that 2% of the consultancy fee of HSCC was to be deducted because of delay, which is yet to be done, and 2% deduction in the contractor's payment was to be done. So both the deductions have to be done, and recently the joint secretary concerned, Vishal Chauhan, had a review meeting, I think in December itself. where this point was again brought to the notice of the institute. So sir, we would request the institute that this deduction must be done, because if there is a decision on account of delay and if that decision is not implemented, so in future projects also people will think that we can delay and get away with it. So that is our request.
I think the point made by the Union Health Secretary is very, very important, very relevant also, and I think compliance must be done immediately about it.
It will be done, sir. The 1 crore rupees pending bill is there. In the pending bill, we will deduct the amount. So, if you permit, should I go to the next agenda, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. This is agenda number 6. In this, I have brought forward a proposal which has been going on for quite some time, sir. But during his last on 28/11/19, His Excellency the Governor of Assam, Professor Jagdish Mukhi, had visited us. While visiting his satisfaction over the state of affairs of the institute, he suggested that the institute should carve out a bigger role in study of human behavior and allied sciences and should become an university. This matter has also been taken up in the earlier meetings of the BOG, and it was proposed that it should be developed like NIMHANS, which will provide the institute the requisite flexibility, autonomy to design, implement and evaluate courses to face the emerging challenges in the field. At the present, the institute does not have the liberty to control the academic programs, as all of these are under the Guwahati University, because Guwahati University is the affiliate university for us. During the COVID times, the institute had many such issues in regards to providing degrees and diplomas through our initiative of the Digital Academy. So I request the honorable members to dwell on this matter and pass a policy decision regarding this. So sir, here two issues have come up. One was that should it be developed in the lines of like the AIMS and other institutions where they have the liberty to introduce and give their own degrees and diplomas. Or it can become a deemed university, which will again go under a different ministry. So this is the issue, sir. If a policy decision is taken on this matter by the honorable members of this house, it can be proceeded next in the Executive Council meeting, which is forthcoming very soon, sir.
Sir, with your permission, I would, sir, I would want to submit that presently the institute is a hospital as well as a teaching institute, which is a college. So now the institute wants to expand its functions. So first of all, sir, we would require some kind of a detailed proposal which could be analyzed at the level of the ministry. And sir, while formulating that proposal, while the institute formulates the proposal, they would have to explore multiple options. One option could be they could become a university in terms of the states act, because states have their individual acts of constituting or according the powers of a university on an institution. That is option number 1. The second option is to become a deemed university under the central legal framework. So that is second option. The third option is to become an institute of eminence, National Institute of Eminence. That brings them on par with AIMS and other institutions. So while formulating the proposal, the Institute of Mental Health Tezpur will have to look at these options, then formulate a proposal and submit it to the ministry, and we would be more than amenable to examine it, sir, under your guidance.
I think the Health Secretary has given a reasonably proper option, because any proposal, even if you ask the members to consider or if you ask the Union Health Ministry to consider, we need to look at the proposal with the various, aspects attached to it. So, as suggested by the Health Secretary, we would request the institution to make a detailed proposal and suggesting the various possibilities and put it before examination for the government also, and then maybe in the next meeting of the general body you can ask the members for their opinion. I think otherwise, without a detailed proposal, how do you expect the members to give a concrete suggestion on the subject?
We have noted this, sir, and proposal will be submitted accordingly as per the decision of the board, sir.
Okay.
One point.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Saab, just one point. I
Dr.
want to
Ganga.
understand because previously till 99 you were a state government institution. Then under Supreme Court order you were taken over by here. But your name is still Regional Institute of Mental Health. I just want to know whether you get some financial contribution for other state government there because you are a regional institute. Do you get any financial assistance from other state governments? No. Because in your board of governors, all chief ministers are part. Therefore, I am asking this.
You have to unmute.
Director Sahab, aap
No
unmute.
financial assistances from any other state governments.
So you are not bound by any other state government concurrence, etc. So
No.
then, as Minister Sahab and Secretary Sahab has suggested, can you send us a detailed proposal because it will need substantive jump not only in the technical manpower and resources and infrastructure, but also financial. Converting a regional institute in an all India institute of the caliber of NIMHANS needs substantive financial commitment. So that we can't just take an offhand decision here unless we examine that in detail. So as Minister Sahab has rightly pointed out, kindly make a detailed proposal taking into consideration the model of NIMHANS, the technical resources which will require, the physical infrastructure and the financial resources of running a full-fledged independent university.
So this has been recorded, sir. And if you agree, we'll move over to the next agenda. So next agenda is agenda 7, where basically it's headed as miscellaneous. Here on principle, there are some requisite actions which has to be taken by the society for renewing it. That has come up because of the new format. So in the society's registration, we have to take a decision in this body that registration will be continued against. So that is one. And number 2, in the National Mental Health Program, this is an on principle decision, sir. It has already been examined. And we are given this flexibility of the fund to run this National Mental Health Program till 21 March. So in the next Executive Council meeting, we are planning to put up a proposal where in the National Mental Health Programs, in the Scheme B, the government has given some proposal for creation of manpower. So this, if the council permits, we'll put it up for discussion in the EC meeting, which is forthcoming in the very soon. Sir.
Yes, yes.
Director Sahab, this National Mental Health Program is currently needs to be approved by Union Ministry for next 5-year cycle. So kindly you keep your decision hold on here, because when we are going to expenditure and cabinet for extension of National Mental Health Program, we will take a call on all such national level institutes of mental health and the posts created there under program, whether they will be continue to be funded by that program or whether state government should be advised to. So kindly hold on this particular agenda till a decision is taken on extension of National Mental Health Program.
Sir, what we can do is that we can record a advice of the GB to the director of the institute that regularization of posts created under National Mental Health Program should first be put up before the Executive Council, which is a body that is subordinate to the GB that you head, sir. And the Executive Council is headed by Secretary Health, and Vice President is, I think, or Vice Chairman or Co-Chair, I think, is the Secretary Donor or Northeastern Council, one of these. So, sir, let the Council first consider this and then put it up to the GB with its recommendations, and then GB can take a decision.
Is that fine, Director Saab?
That's fine, sir.
Okay.
I think that is fair, sir.
So you go move to the next agenda.
This we will put up in our next EC meeting, sir. So after that we will. So the next agenda is this is an agenda item which is agenda A. This is a reporting matter. So this we discussed in the BOC earlier. So this matter is just for reporting, sir. So we have implemented the pension scheme for the inherited employees, and we have also implemented the reservation policy for economically weaker section that has already been implemented, sir. So this is only for reporting, sir. So this brings us to the end of the.
Directors have 2 points. Directors have 2 points on this agenda 8A and B. Agenda 8A will need approval of expenditure because they were the employees of state government now getting absorbed into a central institute. So they will need concurrence of finance ministry. Kindly send that proposal after recommendation of GB to ministry. Can you hear us, Director Saab?
Sir, that has already been approved, sir.
By finance ministry.
Yes, sir. By the ministry we have been communicated, it has been approved by the
No,
ministry.
sir, there are 5 cases, sir. They were suffering because of the 50% ceiling limit of the Assam government, pension ceiling limit, sir. So with the approval of the IFD and with the approval of SIR, we have approved the one case because the merger condition was their service condition should not be inferior to the what we were availing already, sir. So one case we have approved on the same pattern. We will take approval of the 4 cases also.
Again through IFD and
Yes, sir.
HFM.
And the remaining 3 cases, we have told them to put up the file again. So that is. And regarding, sir, this increase of seats, 10 number of seats, now since MCI has relaxed the requirement of professors, so what we have suggested with the same number of professors, you can increase the seat without incurring the cost. And if there is any problem, they can suggest us.
That's in accordance with the revised MSR, sir, minimum standard regulation.
Sir, one last issue is left, sir, like distribution of seats in the college, sir, in the last page. This was, sir, Director sir, in the last BOG, it was like discussed that the seats for the students, you have said that Assam was asking. So you are giving seats to the various states as far as the psychiatric nursing is concerned. But you have not taken any decision for MD psychiatry and other post.
What has happened is the last time when we had this discussion with all the states, they have now 2 issues with them, sir. One is they say that they are keen to have one deputed candidates in each of these disciplines in which we are providing training. One is MD psychiatry, one is MPhil in psychiatric social work, one is MPhil in clinical psychology, and MSc in psychiatric nursing. Now what has happened is, sir, we have 8 states. If we have to give them seats, we have proposed that by rotation, we will reserve 50% of the seats for the deputed candidates. And all the states will get 1 seat each by alphabetic rotation, sir. So in that way, they will get a benefit. They will be benefited in a sense that they will have the requisite trained people in their cadres if they depute people. If they do not depute from the government, then what happens is that anybody who gets trained, even if it is from a state seat, there is no assurance that the person will go back and work there. So that was the discussion we had. So if the board agrees, then we are planning to propose 50% reservation for direct candidates for the institute. Other the rest of the 50% will be taken up on for reservation of the seats for the any states, where the trainees will be deputed by the respective governments and will take it up in an alphabetical manner. So this is the exhibition part. So I thought that we will bring it up in the executive council meeting, in the next executive council meeting.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only what happens is, sir, supposing, sir, for MD, the seats are allotted by the central counseling from me. So what happens is, if we say till now we have 12 MD seats which have been filled up by the ministry from the central council. Now we need a directive from the ministry to tell the need counseling board that only 50% seats will be available henceforth. And they can fill up 6 seats from the central pool, another 6 will be left to the states. So that's the only decision which we'll take up in the next EC meeting.
Sir, this proposal of reserving X percentage of seats, we are not presently agreeing to 50%, whichever percent it is, for the 8 northeastern states will have to be, as director himself said, first examined in the executive council, and how the remaining seats will be filled up, all that has to be examined, and then executive council will put it up before the GB.
Yes. So this brings us to the last agenda for this meeting. This is matters which are to be raised with the permission of the chair. So it's a prerogative of the chairperson. So sir, if you have anything to...
Anybody now is amongst the members of the GB, and they are free to raise any issue, and if somebody wants to bring something apart from the routine agenda for discussion here, here I have a request from Dr. Gangwar. You can start.
Director Sahab, one point which I want to point out to your financial statement of income and expenditure. Can you hear me, Director Sahab?
Yes, sir.
Can you go to the page number 142 of your agenda, because I am going through your income and expenditure statement for year 19 and 20. You had a corpus of 81 crore 872 lakh 194, but because your administrative expenses just jumped a lot, that you have gone into a minus corpus. So a big amount which I am seeing are the two items in which your expenditure has increased significantly. One is establishment expenditure and another is other administrative expenses. Generally in all autonomous bodies, because of the executive committee always headed by either secretary or finance side, we take notice of these exorbitant jumps in the expenditure. This GB is being held after 3 years, but I would suggest you should hold your finance committee and executive committee every year and get your budgets approved, because now you have spent and your corpus has gone into negative. So if you don't control this right at the budgetary stage, your other administrative expense has jumped from 97 lakh to 1 crore 47 lakh. So kindly take note of this fact and get all your budget approved in your finance and executive committee meeting, sir.
I think you can record the suggestion and act accordingly in future. Any other honorable member wishes to raise any issues relevant to the meeting? I can't see any hands raised. But I think before we close the meeting, because unfortunately I have not visited this institution, in spite of the fact that I have visited most of the northeastern states for many reasons, but they had been more particularly for science and technology department, which I had, which I still have. And so I do not have right now any specific suggestions for the institution, but certainly I would, I wish we had the presence of, because when I saw the list of members of the general body, I saw very significant public representatives in the list, including the Chief Minister of Assam, the Honorable Health Minister Assam, the Honorable Health Minister Arunachal Pradesh, Honorable Health Minister Meghalaya, Honorable Health Minister Manipur, Honorable Health Minister Mizoram, Honorable Health Minister Nagaland, also the Honorable Health Minister of Government of Sikkim, and also the Honorable Health Minister who is also the Chief Minister of Tripura. But they are, since they are not there, because they are the people who could actually give some very good relevant suggestions. So we'll seek their, you see, advice otherwise also, and I would suggest that the director may even write to them that since they could not be present in the general body meeting, any suggestions that they have for the betterment of the institute, they could send them to us, because we can appreciate that sometimes being in public life, it's a little difficult to be present at number of places. But unfortunately we don't have any of the ministers here in this meeting, and just because just for my sake, I just want to say hello to the members who are present. I understand that Dr. Inderjeet Singh ji, Secretary Donor, he is there. Dr. Inderjeet Singh ji, you know? He is not there? Acha. Then Shri Moses Chalai, the Secretary NEC Shillong, is he there? No? But you have heard Dr. D.S. Gangwar, Additional Secretary here in the Union Health Ministry. He has already participated in some of the deliberations. Dr. Pratap Jyoti Handik, Vice Chancellor of Guwahati University. I understand he is there. Yes. Doctor, yes, thank you. Dr. Pratap, you want to say something on this occasion? Thank you.
Yes, I thank the institute because some of the courses of the institute are affiliated to our university to ask because we get certain courses of the certain but also we permitted to continue the MPhil courses. But MPhil courses otherwise from our university we have stopped everything MPhil courses because of the NEP 2020. Only in SBR the course is going on. So this is a very good institute and we have good collaborations and our students are also getting good placement. I am happy to be associated with this institute. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Pratap Jyoti, and it's good to have a Vice Chancellor in the general body meeting here, and I think that's good luck of the students also. Dr. Dalip Kumar, President of the Nursing Council of India, are you there? He's there? Okay. Do you want, Dr. Dalip Kumar, do you want to say anything? No. Dr. Abhijat Sheth, President of the National Board of Examinations, I think he did not confirm and he is probably not here. I understand that Mrs. Shakuntala Gamblin has sent her. Dr. Sheth is there. Oh, yes. Dr. Abhijat Sheth, do you want to say something?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
The only thing is if institute needs any support to initiate the PG program in mental health, psychiatry, we'll be very happy.
So you.
Certainly we have a foundation which helps them to the need of the institute.
I think I would suggest that the people in NBE should actively be deliberating on this issue with the institution, and certainly you can take it forward.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yes.
Sure.
I understand that Dr. Subodh Kumar, Member Secretary RCI, is there as representative of Shakuntala Gamblin ji, Chairperson of the Rehabilitation Council of India.
Sir, namaskar, sir.
Dr. Subodh, you want to say something on this at this moment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Subodh.
Sir, I would like to just say thank to all of you, sir, and our chairperson, Shakuntala Gamblin ma'am. She is also the Secretary Department of Social Empowerment of Persons with Disability. She is right now with the Pragati meeting. That's why she asked me to be in this meeting on behalf of her. I am representing, sir. She is our chairperson. Sir, this is the first time I am attending this meeting, sir. Sir, I would like to say something. Are you audible to, sir?
Yes.
I am audible to all of you, sir?
Yes.
What I am saying to you, sir, it is my just humble submission. Right now, Honorable Vice Chancellor has said regarding the discontinuation of the MPhil program, actually, as per the NAP Education Policy 2020, sir, I would like to say this Ranger Institute is also conducting the RCF preparing course, that is the MPhil in Clinical Psychology program, and that is of 2-year duration. This is to create the mental health professional in this sector, sir. So actually, we had a meeting with the Ministry of HRD, UGC, and all other stakeholders actually on this matter. And it was decided by the General Council, by the RCA in the meeting and the recommendation of the experts committee that this is the program, it is not a traditional program like MPhil 1-year course in traditional program. So being a professional course, this MPhil program in clinical psychology could be continued till further further addition of the council. So this program which is being imparted at this Ranger Institute, it is being conducted, so it has to be conducted and it has to be continued, sir. So this is over my submission, sir. One thing, sir, just it is my also submission, sir, that at present the intake is only 8, sir. So if we get a proposal from the Ranger Institute regarding enhancement of intake up to 12, we can also enhance the intake, because I know there is acute shortage of the mental health professionals in the North region, or not only North, other part of the country. So it will benefit the Northeastern state also, sir. And this is the only one state in the Assam, only one institution. So if council receive a proposal for enhancement of intake for this clinical psychology program up to 12, we can examine. Council will be happy to extend all the cooperation, sir. At the same time, I would like to say, sir, apart from this clinical psychology program, right now actually we have seen this university is going to upgrade as a University of Behavioral Sciences. That is a good idea or initiative, sir. So that is also long-term objective of this department, university, institute. Sir, at the same time, I will say, why not this regional institute should also conduct our PG and UG and PG program in speech and hearing, sir. We are having 4 years program that is the BSc speech and hearing and 2 years master speech and hearing. This is very much professor courses, sir. And there is a good shortage of human resources in northeast sector. Only CRC Guwahati, Composite Business at Guwahati. I think Vice Chancellor sir must be aware about the CRC Guwahati and our ministry. They are running this course, the 4 years program. So I will just request, why not this business institute so also take up this program to create the human resource in the sector in the speech and audiology, sir. It is a very, sir, very popular and very demanding, and there is a lot of job opportunity prospects are there in the country, sir. And very good program, sir. BSc Speech and Audiology, known as a Bachelor in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology and Master in Audiology and Speech Language Pathology. This is a 4 years UG program and 2 years master program, sir. So this program, if the department, this regional institute may to train, they can also submit a proposal to the council, and we will examine, and we will be happy to extend all the cooperation for enhancement of the human resource in the speech and hearing and mental health also, sir. At the same time, sir, they are running our AMFIL clinical psychology program. They can also run our other program in the behavioral science, like the post-graduate diploma, advanced diploma in counseling psychology. It is being run by at present in Delhi, that is the NIPSET Delhi, House Khas. So that is a very popular program also, sir, and there is no program in the entire Northeast region, sir. This program, because it is all the branch of the psychology, and most of the faculty, those who are involved in the clinical psychology program, they can also utilize their services for imparting the training, sir, in addition to, and we can also have some guest faculty. This is a very good program, sir. This is my submission, sir. This is the first time I have been invited, sir. So actually, I am just saying from my own heart, sir. Actually, I wanted to. I have visited Guwahati several times, sir. Actually, the CRC Srinagar, and we had a meeting last year, 2019, the rehab meet at the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Guwahati University campus auditorium, sir. Last year, actually, if you recall, sir. Actually, but fortunately, we could not meet. Madam Samudra Academy and Additional Chief Secretary were also there. So we wanted to promote service, and I just say to all of you and honorable ministers, sir, on behalf of the chairperson RC, Madam Subla Gambli, I extend all the thanks and cooperation to you, and we have invited you for this meeting, sir. Thank you very much, sir. This is my submission, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Subodh. You have raised some very important, pertinent issues, and I am very happy that you see, these are the issues which are close to my own professional specialty also, and I am happy that you have raised them. You see, all these suggestions that are being given right now, though they have been, I have provoked people to sort of come out with suggestions. I would like the director to ensure that they are all recorded as suggestions given by the honorable members. It is not now, since we are talking to everybody and somebody is coming out with some suggestion, we should try to take up the positive aspects of all these suggestions, and if in the larger interest of the institution, if we can really go ahead and start thinking about implementing them, I think that will make the purpose of this general body meeting really much more worth. So now Dr. Guru Raj from Nimhans, Bangalore, is he there? Yes, Dr. Guru Raj, please. You want to say something?
Yes, sir. So one point of discussion that came up was with regard to improving the human resources in the northeastern region by giving the institute a little bit more independence and autonomy. I think that is the area which would be worth considering, sir, because with the university status or with more autonomy, they will be able to develop courses which are also required at the local level, more in relation to the northeastern states. And like sir rightly have already suggested, this proposal can be sort of taken in depth to see what sort of a status can be given to promote mental health, human resources in the northeastern region. I think the NIMHANS will be very happy to support that, sir, and because we were a deemed university for about 20 years, between 1994 to 2014, and that gave us a lot of independence in formulating, in developing, in improving the quality of education in the field of mental health. So we'll be very happy to work with the director, sir, and provide input, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Guru Raj. Now, Dr. Rajesh Sagar, Professor in AIMS, New Delhi.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. Wonderful to be here, and I can only say that 2 years ago I had a good fortune to visit this institute as under the direction of Supreme Court. I think, in fact, I was asked by ministry because I was secretary of Central Mental Health Authority, and ministry had asked me to, under the direction of Supreme Court, to visit 3 central institutions like NIMHANS, CIP, and Tejpur. And that was a very big report I made, about 300-page report. And some of the recommendations I have made, I think Dr. Director Sir is here, Dr. Devi, and only one thing I can say that they have very good campus, which is 140-year-old, and they have a new building now. And what I see, because this institute is seen as an important institute of the Northeast region as a whole, and being an advocate for a mentally ill person, that can bring up in the future that space can be utilized for the mental health rehabilitation. I think that can be utilized, though they have a new building now. In fact, that is what also I suggested. So I can discuss that. I think they have a wonderful program for rehabilitation. I can say Northeast state. I think in future they have a huge potential. And it's a lovely place where there are deer, there's a natural surrounding, and I would urge you should also visit that place. And so in fact that's an important report, and some of the recommendation can be taken up by them. So that's the only thing we can pursue it further. Just a brief I wanted to tell about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sagar. Now finally Professor Devashish from PGI Chandigarh. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes.
If you want to say something on this
evening, sir.
occasion. Yes, good evening.
Good evening. I'll just make it very short, sir. It's a pleasure and honor to be here in this meeting as one of the members of the Board of Governors from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Coming from PGI, as you know, sir, one of the institutes of national importance, and where mental health, along with the All India Institute, are part of the general health psychiatric units, which of course have its own name. Having said that, it's extremely institutes of mental health in the model of NIMHANS Bangalore, which is there in the south, and in the northeast we have the regional institute. I would fully support that all possible within rule assistance be given to further enhance its scope, to make it more helpful to the people of the not only the Assam but also all the northeast and also east do not exactly have an institute of that caliber of which will cover all the different mental health care cadres. Only psychiatrists are never ever going to be sufficient. Having said it, we have this national mental health policy, we have the national mental health program, and now we of course have the National Mental Health Care Act 2017. We have the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. So we have a number of frameworks in which this can be further improvised, not only at the regional level but also on the national. And I'll be very happy to be a part of it as and when required, wherever I can put in my humble inputs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Devashish. I think I can't emphasize the role of mental health before all of you, because you are the people who have been spearheading all this for years, and that's why the country has seen the National Mental Health Act and the program, and so many things are actually happening on the mental health front. It has received the attention of virtually everybody, even up to the Supreme Court of India, the World Health Organization, all relevant quarters, and especially during 2020, during COVID, mental health became so important, and it was being discussed in many meetings when we used to follow up on COVID things, the mental health issues that, and then of course all these telemedicine issues and all. I think we need to, maybe the institutions like this, you can probably help in framing good quality guidelines. All the, at least these regional and the national institutions handling mental health, they could now from to the point where we have reached now, how do we go forward in the next 10 years or so? Because India is progressing so fast under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has a vision of delivering a new India to all Indians by 2022, where he wants a smile on everybody's face. He wants every child to have adequate health, education, and all those issues. So I think health otherwise becomes so important, and mental health is an important component of the definition of health also. So we expect that these general body meetings, for me, I think they should not be only merely technical routine meetings where we just pass some agendas and just fulfill formalities, but they should be good quality, good grounds for starting within ourselves and within our colleagues, good quality brainstorming about how do we become better, what is better that we can deliver to the people, what is better that we can deliver to the students, our postgraduates and others in the next few years, or say from this general body meeting to the next general body meeting. The institution should have a good quality, well drafted, not necessarily you do that in this particular meeting, but there should be a group which should draft a good you see, one part is construction and all that you have discussed. This is a construction process, we'll complete in 21, but the institutions, you see, only with a good building and a big campus, you can't say we have a very good institution. It's not, I'm not commenting about your institution, you already have a good status and all, but I think how do we qualitatively improve and do better things, keep the things at the state of the art level, and we are comparable to the best not only in the country but to the best in the world. That should be, we should be striving for that, and around these, at least these general body meetings, there should be a plan of action after good quality discussions, which I feel maybe you cannot do it now in this meeting, but in the next meeting there should be good quality suggestions from the institution which will strengthen and improve the institution qualitatively, and you should seek the approval of the general body about them, and then from one general body to next general body there should be the futuristic vision also, and there should be a review or strategy to sort of the general body can also monitor what is that has improved over the years. Ultimately, our life is all about you see, becoming better with each passing day, and for people in medicine, and I think there too those who deal with mental health, I think you deal with more of humanitarian aspects of the health sciences. So you people who deal with these issues, you are more fortunate than many others. So, and we have a better chance of delivering great things for the people. So I don't know when I will be lucky to be able to visit this institution, but I'll certainly make it a point that whenever I get a chance to be in Northeast and particularly in Assam, I go and see the institution myself. Today we could have a glimpse of it in that video. So with these few words, wishing you all good luck, good health, Happy New Year, and hopefully 2021 should be better than what we had in 2020 for all of us. I am handing over back to Dr. Deori, the director of the institution, for his final words, and then automatically the meeting will close after his words.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to all the members who made it, put up the support to be here and give their suggestions. All the suggestions which have been provided or given by the members are being recorded, sir. And I'm very glad to see that, sir, a lot of energy has come into this meeting, and we hope that in the coming years we'll be able to give you a definitive progress report from time to time. And I assure you, sir, that we'll definitely strive to be even better. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving us the time. Thanks to all the members for giving their time. Thank you very much.